I caught my wife in an affair with my brother, now my family is divided. I never thought I'd be sharing something like this with the world, but I don't know where else to turn. My life feels like it's been flipped upside down, and I need to hear some outside perspectives because right now, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Here's what happened. I, 34M, have been married to my wife, Emma, 32F, for 8 years. We met in college, dated for a few years, and eventually tied the knot. We've always had what I thought was a solid relationship. Sure, we've had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing that ever made me question our marriage. We bought a house together, had 2 beautiful kids, and I thought we were building a future. My brother, Ryan, 36M, has always been a huge part of my life. He's my only sibling, and we've always been close. He was my best man at our wedding, he's great with the kids, and we see him regularly, especially after he moved to our town about 2 years ago. Emma always got along with him, and we were all close, which made what I found out even more devastating. It all started about 6 months ago when I noticed Emma becoming distant. At first, I chalked it up to stress, work, the kids, life in general. But as time went on, her behavior became harder to ignore. She was spending more time on her phone, staying out later with vague explanations about work or meeting friends, and overall, she just seemed less interested in me and the family. I tried talking to her about it, but she brushed it off, saying she was just tired or that I was imagining things. Then, a few weeks ago, things took a sharp turn. Emma said she was going out with some friends on a Saturday night. I stayed home with the kids, not thinking much of it. But something didn't sit right with me that night. I can't explain it, but my gut was telling me something was off. So, I decided to drive by the bar where she said she'd be with her friends, just to see if she was really there. When I got there, I didn't see her car, and that's when the sinking feeling in my stomach really started. I went home and waited for her. She came in late, around 2 a.m., smelling of alcohol, and when I asked her how her night was, she was unusually evasive. I didn't press her that night, but I knew something was going on. I couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't being honest with me. The next day, I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked her phone while she was in the shower. I know it's a huge breach of trust, and part of me hates myself for it, but I had to know. What I found shattered my world. There were dozens of messages between Emma and Ryan, my brother. They weren't explicitly sexual, but they were intimate, messages about how much they missed each other, how much they enjoyed the time they spent together, and how they couldn't wait to be alone again. It was clear from the context that this had been going on for a while. The worst part? There were references to times when I had been around, completely clueless, while they were sneaking around behind my back. I felt sick. My brother and my wife. The 2 people I trusted most in the world had been betraying me. I confronted Emma that night. She denied it at first, tried to make excuses, but when I showed her the messages, she broke down. She admitted that she and Ryan had been having an affair for almost a year. It started out innocently, she said, just talking, then flirting, and before they knew it, things escalated. She said she never meant for it to happen, that it just got out of control, and that she was sorry. But I couldn't even look at her. I felt like my whole life was a lie. The next day, I called Ryan. I was furious, heartbroken, and didn't even know what to say to him. He tried to apologize, saying he never wanted to hurt me, but his words felt hollow. He said they had ended things and that it was a huge mistake. But how can you make a mistake like that for an entire year? It wasn't just a slip-up. It was a calculated betrayal that went on for months, and I had no idea. Now, my family is completely divided. I kicked Emma out of the house. She's staying with her parents for now, and we've told the kids that we're taking a break, but they're confused and scared, and I don't know how to explain to them what's really happening. Ryan has been trying to reach out to me, but I can't bring myself to talk to him. I've blocked him on everything. I've also distanced myself from the rest of my family because they're caught in the middle and trying to play peacemaker, which just makes me feel even more betrayed. To make matters worse, some of my family members think I'm overreacting. They're saying things like, it's not like they ran off together and you should try to forgive them, they're family. But how can I forgive something like this? How can I ever trust them again? I feel like I've lost everything, my wife, my brother, my family, and I'm drowning in anger and pain. Emma has been begging me to go to therapy with her, saying she wants to fix our marriage and that she'll do whatever it takes to earn back my trust. But I don't even know if that's possible. How do you rebuild something after it's been completely destroyed? I can't even look at her without feeling sick to my stomach. As for Ryan, I don't know if I'll ever be able to have a relationship with him again. He was my best friend, the one person I always thought had my back, and he stabbed me in the worst way possible. Part of me wants to confront him again, to make him feel the pain I'm feeling, but another part of me just wants to cut him out of my life completely and never look back. I feel like I'm in a fog, trying to figure out what my life is going to look like moving forward. I'm terrified of what this will do to my kids if we get divorced, but I don't know if I can stay in a marriage where I've been betrayed like this. And as for Ryan, I can't even wrap my head around how I'm supposed to deal with him going forward. Do I try to repair our relationship for the sake of the family? Or do I just cut him out for good? I'm lost, Reddit. I don't know what to do. My life feels like it's falling apart, and I don't know if it'll ever be the same again. Should I try to work things out with Emma, or is this betrayal unforgivable? And what about my brother? Is there any coming back from something like this, or is it time to walk away from him and my family for good? Update. I've read through all the responses, and I can't thank you all enough for the support and advice. It's been overwhelming, but it's helped me see things a little more clearly. I'm still processing everything, and I haven't made any final decisions yet, but I wanted to clarify a few things. First, a lot of people have asked why I didn't suspect anything earlier. To be honest, Emma and Ryan were always close, but I never thought anything of it. I trusted both of them completely, so I had no reason to believe they were crossing any boundaries. Looking back, there were probably signs, but I missed them because I never imagined something like this would happen. Second, as for therapy, I've agreed to go to individual therapy for myself, but I haven't decided about couples therapy yet. I don't know if I'm ready for that, or if I'll ever be. Right now, I'm focused on trying to heal and figure out what's best for me and the kids. Lastly, a lot of people have asked about Ryan and whether I'll ever be able to forgive him. The truth is, I don't know. The thought of cutting him out of my life completely feels like losing a part of myself, but keeping him around feels like living with a constant reminder of the betrayal. It's something I'll have to figure out in time, but for now, I'm keeping my distance. Thank you again for all your support. I'll update again if there are any major changes, but for now, I'm taking things one day at a time. Story 2. I, 29F, have been married to my husband, Tom, 31M, for 5 years. We have a pretty solid relationship, or at least we did, until my past caught up with me. When Tom and I first started dating, I wasn't completely honest about my history. I didn't tell him that, during college, I was briefly involved with one of his friends, Chris. It was just a fling, nothing serious, and we both moved on without drama. When Tom and I started dating, I never thought it would matter. Chris had moved away, and I figured the past was in the past. But then, 2 months ago, Chris moved back to our city. We bumped into him at a party, and Tom introduced me like they were old friends. My heart nearly stopped, but I played it cool, hoping Chris wouldn't say anything. He didn't. But now every time we see Chris, it feels like a ticking time bomb. Tom recently mentioned inviting Chris over for dinner, and I'm panicking. I've been living with this lie for years, and I feel like the longer I wait, the worse it will be. If Tom finds out from Chris, it'll destroy him. But if I come clean, I risk ruining everything we've built. Should I tell him the truth now, or is it better to leave the past buried? Update, I told him. It didn't go well. Tom feels betrayed, not just because of what happened with Chris, but because I kept it a secret for so long. He's been distant, and I don't know if we'll get through this. I wish I had been honest from the start.